I'm Troy Matheny. I'm the Assistant Director at the Illinois Center for Autism. We're one of those places that we really live our mission. Our mission is to educate and serve children and adults with autism spectrum disorder to achieve their highest level of independence within their home, family, and community. Every decision that we make is driven by that. It's a thought that all of us goes through our heads every moment of every day. Because we really do all have to wear a variety of hats, and we have to be able to change gears one moment to the next. And where sometimes that gets lost is how we interact with one another. We start speaking in shorthand, we think we've included everybody on the email list, and we leave somebody off. Since we wind up working so closely together, we wind up sometimes being just as easily offended. We tend to communicate everything, not always in the right place, not always at the right time, not always in the right way. What we've been working on is how to shape that into something meaningful, healthy, and productive. And that's what vertical performance has been helping us learn to do. We straddle that line, and we have to be comfortable with deciding that we can change the things the way we were doing them before without saying that they were necessarily wrong. It's not that we've been making mistakes. It's not that we've been doing less than we should have. Instead, it's focusing on finding small ways to incrementally make us better. That's probably the biggest thing that I've taken away. There have basically been two components to our vertical performance training. There have been some group training with the 5 key members of ICA's senior leadership. And those groups will normally center around a topic that we'll have a discussion for and some homework that we're supposed to work on later after we get back to the office. Separate from that, we each do individual sessions with either Lynn or Jim. And during those sessions, it's normally expanding on what we've done in group and then focusing on things a little more directed for the individual, what the individual needs. For me, I found that we needed the combination of both of those. Probably one of the greatest things we've done is our meeting time that we spend together has been much more purposeful. We start off with a clear goal and stating it ahead of time. And we try to limit ourselves to only things that we can accomplish and actually finish. We've had a long record of starting a lot of things, but then not taking things all the way to conclusion. We would get just far enough along to be able to take care of the problem at hand, but the next time something similar developed, we'd have to revisit the issue. One of the things we've learned is to have a beginning and an ending point. What that's really meant is that we've had to decide that we're not always going to agree 100% of the time on every single issue. So what we've had to adapt to is instead everyone gets their say. What they have to say, their opinion, it's valued, it's respected. So we're getting a lot more input from people than what we would have had in the past. So that even at the end we wind up making a decision that maybe only 4 out of 5 members of senior leadership really agreed to or felt strongest about, we find that everyone can leave the room fully supporting that position because they had the opportunity to have it heard. Like any group of people who work closely together, there are going to be issues you just agree on. Some of them are going to be work-related, some of them are going to be personal issues. And we're not the type of place where you can just ignore someone and not talk to them. You can't just try and stay in your own little bubble. Students and clients we serve require way more than that from us. What we found is that when we address those issues directly, that it's much more productive, and we get past those issues quicker, and we get back to what we need to be doing much, much faster. Before starting this process, I was someone who really made an honest effort to walk into every meeting with the answer. Thought that we should let everybody have their say, but at the end, if nobody else had an idea, I wanted to make sure that I had the answer, no matter how things went. Now I'm much more trusting of the people that I work with. I'm much more trusting of the process. I find that I value more what people have to say, that there's a difference between letting people speak and actually listening to them and giving thought to their ideas and their opinions. Find that the decisions that we're coming up with are better than the ones that I'm walking in the room with, and that I don't always have to feel like I have to have the answer. Sometimes it turns out all I have to have is the question, and I can rely on the people around me to help come up with that answer. I think the most surprising thing is that, and I think if you asked all of our senior management, when we started it, it was one of those things that was hard for us to block the time out to be able to do it. No one thinks that they have an extra hour during the week, because truthfully, you don't. But by the time we had met 2-3 times, we began not only making the time, but looking forward to it. We began to see the value in it. We began to see our relationships changing, the way we were making decisions changing, the way we disagreed with each other beginning to change. And those are the things that we're really the happiest about with this project. I'd say anyone who's interested in doing either group or individual training, I would really encourage you to feel free to contact me at the Illinois Center for Autism. Be happy to share directly off camera my experience with Lynn and Jim and vertical performance. Really cannot endorse the entire program more heartily. It's been something that's made a difference for us as a charity in the area and allowed us to do a better job serving the individuals we see every day.